In the land of giants, Loki, the cunning trickster god, had 3 strange children with the giantess Angrboda. The first was Jormungandr, a serpent so large he could wrap around the world. The second was Hel, a girl with one side of her body alive and the other side dead. The third was Fenrir, a wolf cub unlike any other. When the gods learned of these children, they were alarmed, for a prophecy said they would bring great destruction. Odin, the Allfather, decided to bring the children under control. Jormungandr was cast into the ocean, and Hel was sent to rule the underworld. But Fenrir, still just a small wolf, was brought to Asgard. The gods hoped they could tame Fenrir, but as he grew, so did their fear. Though he was playful at first, his strength and size quickly became impossible to ignore. Fenrir grew faster than anyone expected, and his playful nature turned into something wilder. The gods began to whisper about him in secret. They knew the prophecy. Fenrir would one day break free and bring destruction to the world during Ragnarok, the end of all things. Odin's visions showed Fenrir swallowing the sun and slaying him in battle. The other gods urged Odin to act, but they also feared Fenrir's strength. Yet for now, Fenrir trusted the gods. He enjoyed their company, especially that of Tyr, the brave god of war who often fed him and played with him. But deep down, the gods knew that Fenrir's trust would not last forever. To protect themselves, the gods decided to test Fenrir's strength. They forged mighty chains out of the strongest iron and brought them to him. "Fenrir," they said, "let us see how strong you are. Try to break these chains." Fenrir, proud of his strength, agreed. The gods wrapped the chains tightly around him, but with a single powerful shake, he shattered them into pieces. The gods pretended to be impressed, but in truth, they were terrified. They forged an even stronger set of chains, thicker and reinforced with magic. Again, they challenged Fenrir to break them. This time, the chains held for a moment longer, but Fenrir snarled and burst free, scattering the links like leaves in the wind. After this, Fenrir began to sense that the gods were hiding something from him. The gods realized they needed something far stronger to bind Fenrir. They turned to the dwarves, master craftsmen, and asked them to create a chain unlike any other. The dwarves crafted Gleipnir, a magical ribbon made from 6 impossible things. The sound of a cat's footsteps, the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, the breath of a fish, the spittle of a bird, and the sinews of a bear. Though Gleipnir looked thin and smooth, it was unbreakable. The gods brought it to Fenrir and told him it was another test of his strength. "This ribbon looks weak," Fenrir said, narrowing his eyes. "Why should I bother?" The gods laughed nervously. "Because it is magic," they said. "If you can break this, we will all know you are the strongest of us." By now, Fenrir no longer trusted the gods completely. When they brought out Gleipnir, the thin magical chain, he narrowed his golden eyes. "This looks weak," he growled. "Why should I bother breaking it?" The gods laughed nervously and tried to assure him it was just another test of his strength. But Fenrir's growls deepened. "If this is a trap, I will not forgive you," he said. "One of you must prove your trust. Place your hand in my mouth while I am bound. If you betray me, I will bite." The gods fell silent, their fear plain to see. Finally, Tyr, the bravest among them, stepped forward. He had always been kind to Fenrir, and the wolf trusted him more than the others. Without hesitation, Tyr placed his hand in Fenrir's jaws. The wolf's sharp teeth pressed against Tyr's skin as Fenrir watched the gods carefully. As the chain was tied tightly around him, Fenrir stood still but tense. He growled low in his throat, ready to strike if he felt a trick. The gods moved quickly, but Tyr remained steady, knowing he might soon pay the price. When the gods wrapped the magical ribbon Gleipnir around Fenrir, they stepped back cautiously. Fenrir felt the ribbon and tried with all his strength to break free, but it stayed firmly in place. It looked soft, but it was stronger than anything he had ever known. His golden eyes widened in surprise, and for a moment, he looked at the gods with frustration. But Tyr, the brave god, stood calmly in front of him. Tyr knew what was needed to keep everyone safe. Fenrir understood this and gently closed his jaws around Tyr's hand as a kind of promise. Tyr felt no fear, only trust. To help Fenrir rest, the gods brought him to a quiet place where he could watch the stars and dream. Even though he was bound, Fenrir knew the ribbon helped him control his strength. His eyes continued to shine, as if promising that one day, he would be free to play again, calmly this time. And so Fenrir became a special guardian of the world, and the gods always cared for him. Once Fenrir was bound with the magical ribbon, the gods brought him to a distant, quiet place far from Asgard. There, they secured him to an unmovable rock to keep him from roaming freely. Though Fenrir pulled with all his might, the enchanted bond stayed firm. Fenrir let out a mighty howl that shook the land, So the gods placed a calming spell to quiet him. His golden eyes still glimmered with determination, and though he rested, his spirit remained strong. The gods returned to Asgard, relieved but thoughtful. Odin knew Fenrir's story wasn't over, only paused. And so Fenrir waited, watching the skies, dreaming of the day his time would come again. Centuries passed, and the day of Ragnarok finally came. The skies darkened, and the earth trembled. Fenrir, with all his strength, broke free from the magical chains that had held him for so long. His roar echoed like thunder, and he stood taller than the mountains, his jaws stretching wide as the prophecy foretold. Fenrir charged into the great battle, his power unstoppable. He faced Odin, the Allfather, in a fierce and fateful fight. Though Odin was wise and strong, Fenrir's might was greater, and the prophecy was fulfilled as Fenrir defeated him. But Fenrir's victory was not the end. Odin's son, Vidar, stepped forward, wearing a special boot made for this moment. Using all his strength and determination, Vidar managed to subdue Fenrir, ending his rampage and bringing balance back to the world. Though Fenrir's journey ended that day, his story lived on as a reminder of wild strength, resilience, and the courage to face even the greatest challenges.